Hi, is this Khaleesi?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Khaleesi. How are you? This is Mo with Fit3D.
Hi, Mo. I'm doing well. How are you?
Awesome. Doing good. So we do have a demo scheduled for now. Is it still a good time?
Yeah, it's a great time. Thank you. I have about 15 to 20 minutes.
Perfect. Sounds good. So really quickly, I just wanted to give you a little rundown on how our demos usually are. What we'll do is I'll just ask you a few questions. We'll chat a little bit. I'm going to take you from there through our website and just kind of show you our platform, which is how we'll be doing the screen share. And then after that, we'll get into pricing. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So just really quickly, if you could just tell me a little bit about your facility and why you looked into Fit3D as a solution.
Yeah, so I got an ad on Facebook, and I'm currently a gym owner. My gym's called Fit for All, and we've been around about 4 or 5 years, but in the last, I would say like year and a half, almost 2 years, we haven't seen an increase in new membership. Okay. We have about 200 members currently, but, we've kind of just hit a plateau. So I'm interested to see how this technology works and whether or not it could help with new member conversion.
Yeah, absolutely. And of those members that you currently have, it sounds like you have a tough time with conversion when new prospects come in the gym. Mm-hmm. But what about retaining client and your retention rate? Are you seeing that is still steady, or is it something that's declined as well?
Yeah, that's still steady. We had an issue about 2 years ago with a sharp decline because a couple gyms opened up in the area. So we upgraded our facility, added in some new amenities for our people. And since then, we've seen normal decline rates, but nothing too alarming whatsoever.
Okay. Sounds good.
We kind of break even in terms of new members versus, leaving members.
Got it. And of those members, how many do you currently have? What's your member base?
It's 200.
Perfect. So at your facility, just tell me what the day-to-day is like, and what do you run challenges? Do you just have a really great personal training platform?
Yeah, so we kind of do it all here. We have personal training. We do run challenges on a quarterly basis, and we also offer some classes like yoga and things like that. But we're looking to build those out, as we can, gain new members.
How is it going? How are the challenges going? How is the personal training going?
Yeah, they're okay. It's kind of hit or miss. Some people really love the challenges because they see drastic results. We have some people that, it's a bit harder because they're not seeing as drastic results. But for the most part, everything's just okay. But I'm not okay with just okay.
Right, I understand that. So, and this might be a question that we kind of address later on as well, but do you off the top of your head, do you know why you're having these problems or these issues, or is it something that you think will be of help with the Fit3D? Yeah,
we've like I said, it's with challenges, it's a little inconsistent with the results. Okay. So with getting new people to sign on, it's a little bit harder because we don't have really great case studies to show the drastic changes for our challenges. I don't know if it's maybe because more, facilities have opened up in the area. I'm just looking to have something that really differentiates us from other gyms. I think that's kind of the missing piece that we're dealing with right now.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Cool. Those are all the questions I have. Do you have any questions for me before we get started?
No, I'm really interested to see, how the platform works.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to share my screen with you here, and just let me know when you can see my cursor kind of moving over.
Yes, I can see it.
Perfect. So this is the scanner itself. You mentioned you run you run challenges, and that you have some personal training. What are you guys currently using in that program for assessments?
So we're obviously weighing on the scale, and then we take a few pictures of our clients, as well as we do measurements of the body. So we do hand measurements with tape. Yeah,
cool. And at this point, you have to dedicate personnel to it. And then how long does that process take when you're assessing those clients, just for one client?
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll have one person that's just recording all of the weights. We'll have one person that's taking all the photos, and then we'll have one person that is doing all the measuring simultaneously. Okay. But it still is, for I would say one person, maybe a 7 to 10 minute process. Okay. Depending on the size of the person and things like that, and how many people are getting measured and weighed and, taken pictures of at that given time.
Got it. So almost like stationary kind of assessment.
Yeah.
Perfect. So the reason I asked is just because I wanted to mention that this is a scanner itself, and it's actually autonomous. It's self-service. So you actually won't need to dedicate any personnel to the scanner, to administering scans, none of that. Your clients are going to be able to walk over to the scanner here, sign in with their username and password if they already have one, or sign up. What we would suggest, and we'll talk about this a little bit down the road, is we do send you a great media kit. They can either download our app and already be pre-registered, or you can send them or give them a QR code so that they can have that information already filled out, and that way their process here at the tablet is expedited. So that process is very easy. This tablet is going to give them all of the proper information on how to take a valid scan, how to wear their hair, how to dress, all of those things. So for women, we would suggest a sports bra and compression shorts or compression pants. Nothing that compresses the body too much, nor does it cover the midriff area, but also, you don't have to dress down completely. For men, we would suggest no shirt and compression shorts. Anything that's too baggy, the scanner is going to read it as their body. So to get valid, great results, we would say that this is the ideal clothing. And then for anyone with long hair, we want a high bun. We do take those neck circumference measurements, so we want to have everything clear of the neck just so that it doesn't skew the results.
And just a quick question.
Yeah.
Do people ever take scans in their undergarments at all?
It depends on the facility. We're not opposed to taking scans in your undergarments. We actually suggest, if a client is going to dress down in any way, that you provide a curtain. If you don't have the ability to dedicate a room, but it's really the choice of the client. Okay. So we don't prefer the nude, but anything that gets them as close to the nude as possible without like compressing or having too many, baggy clothes on it. Great question.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. So once they're done with that process should take about a minute or so, nothing too long. They're going to take a scan. Each scan is 35 seconds. And in that 35 seconds, it's going to spin them 360. And it's going to give you over 100 circumference measurements and thousands of images to get you what I'm about to show you next. So right now I'm going to log into our admin portal, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on the back end of the scanner for someone who owns the scanner, and then we'll get into a report. So at this time, after they've taken that scan, they're going to be prompted with an email sent out for them to log into their account, and then they're going to see their results page. Once you log in, you won't be given a heads up, but once you log in, you'll be able to see their results as well. So they can see their results and you can see the results. And it's important to mention that this is cloud-based software. So you'll be able to log in from any device, anywhere, and access your client list and all of the things I'm about to show you next. Your clients will be able to log in from any place, anywhere, and access their information as well.
Great.
All right, cool. So I'm going to log in here. So as you can see here, you do have your detailed client list here where it says My Clients, and you can manage your coaches. You'll have your users here, and those are just your clients that have been scanning on the scanner. Your coaches, our universal term for anyone that has a client base on the scanner. So if you have trainers or any personnel at your facility, any staff at your facility that does need their own login, and what they'll be able to see is their specific client list. You as the admin will be able to see the entire client list of everyone across the board who has scanned on your scanner. It is important to mention we do have an unlimited software license, so we would never charge you anything monthly for software. You do receive that unlimited, so it's unlimited users, unlimited coaches, and unlimited scans. So you'll have all of that with your Fit3D purchase as well.
Very nice.
Awesome. Cool. So moving forward here, how many trainers do you guys have right now on staff?
I would say we have about 8 trainers full-time on staff. We have some part-timers as well.
Perfect. So if you wanted to add or subtract any trainers from your platform, you can do so in real time. So let's say you hired 2 people and you wanted to add them as trainers. You go back here to the dashboard, and that would reflect in real time here. So you would never have to call us or go through any lengthy process to add someone as a coach.
Oh, great.
Also, if you don't have that person as an employee anymore, you can actually remove them right away, and that reflects in real time as well.
Oh, great. Lovely.
Cool. So from here, you'll be able to see your client client list. You're going to get the exact same results page as they will get. But for you, it's going to be a tad bit different, and I'll explain that in a second. So if you click on this cool clipboard here, it's going to take you to what your clients will see when they log in. And as you can see here, some really cool stuff. Initially, you'll only be able to see these silhouettes here. As you can see, once your clients add you as a coach, so in that sign up process on the scanner there, they'll be prompted to add someone as a coach. Once they add you as a coach, they can then grant you access to showing their full scan. So showing that full scan like that there. And then you guys can move forward from there. If they don't grant you access, and it's just a privacy policy we have built in place for their, privacy, if they don't grant you access, you can still have access to all of their other metrics. The image will just be the silhouette, but that image is still completely in their likeness as well, as you can see.
Yes.
All right, cool. So moving forward here, just to go through an initial scan and go over some of our features that I think pertain most to you. I think with your challenges and being a challenge-based gym and having personal training, the body image is going to be very important. Okay. So as you can see here, as I click on, I'm going to actually go through it a different way. This is exactly the same report here. So as I click on the image here, you can see it's very detailed. You can even see down to the belly button. So that's why it's important, as I mentioned before, that wearing the proper clothing. So you'll be able to spin this image around. And usually, so you mentioned having some trouble with conversion. You mentioned having a little bit of trouble in the past with retention. I think that incorporating the Fit3D is going to completely change your conversion rate. And the reason I say this is because usually when people walk in your door and when people get on the scanner, they go over their results and they see this scan, they think, oh my goodness, I have so much more work to do than I thought. I personally had the same revelation when I took a Fit3D scan, and what it is, it's like, hey, sign me up for the gym yesterday because I didn't know it was this bad. So that's where you and your salespeople come in. It's like, hey, I know you're not happy with this and I know you want to change this, but through our facility, through our, challenge, or through our personal training program, we're going to get you where you need to be. And that is where you're going to see where you've had a drop and a decline in conversion, where that's going to, build.
Yeah. So you're saying, when people come in, when new prospects come in, have them take a scan?
I would say so, yes. Okay. So initially, like when you're trying to convert someone to joining your gym and they're just coming in inquiring, I would have them take a scan as a complimentary service. You can do that however you would like. But in that first assessment, you have them take a scan, you sit down with them, go over their results, and then they would probably agree with you, hey, I do have some work to do. What are the options for signing up for the gym? And that's where you will see those conversion rates. And I'll get to it in a minute, but you're also able to, kind of convert them at a later date too. If they don't sign up right then and there, they'll be able to log into this platform, see all of this information. Yeah. And then if they feel like, hey, you know what, I actually really do need to join the gym, they can actually come back. And that's the great thing about Fit3D. They can take the information home with them. With other gyms where they just have that information in the gym. I went to, a gym once and, I got assessed and they had me hold this like Omron kind of thing. And I didn't remember my body fat when I left out of there because I didn't have the information with me. Oh. But you'll be able to have them log in here if they want, and then a little later I'll show you they can even print out their results for them as well.
Good to know.
So just moving forward here, going through some of our metrics, we do give you body composition. So you'll be able to give them really cool metrics like body fat percentage. You'll be able to show them their weight, their fat mass, and their lean mass. So you mentioned before you have like a stationary kind of setup for your challenges, and you have, the measurements and, the weight and the body fat, all of those things. As I mentioned before, our scan is 35 seconds. So that's 7 to 10 minutes you're taking for each client to go through that stationary, assessment. We'll do that for you in 35 seconds, and we'll create that efficiency and completely eliminate that process. So for instance, moving forward here, and I'm just going to skip a couple of these, but measurements here, you get your total body measurements here in just 35 seconds. Wow. So what we do at Fit3D is create efficiencies. We try to make you money and we try to save you money. So you won't have to, hire more personnel. Like once you start converting more people, or once more people start coming in your gym, that's hiring more people to assess those clients had you not had the Fit3D. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So circling back here, So we do give you your full body circumference measurements. We're going to give you the neck, bust, waist. In your gym right now, does it look like you guys are taking these same measurements, but by hand, obviously?
Yeah, yes, by hand.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So we'll give you everything you already, have been, taking, but it'll be here in our cloud-based software. And then before I move forward really quickly to our most important feature, what I think is, how are you guys keeping track of all that information? Once you take those measurements, once you, take the weight, what do you have to do? You have to write it down, put it in an Excel sheet. Where does it go?
Yeah, we write it down and we put it in an Excel sheet. We usually have a results board.
Okay.
But basically it's all like on paper in filing cabinets in my office.
Is that something that you'd be looking to completely eliminate?
Oh, yes. It's taking up a lot of space.
Okay, great. So it sounds like we can be of service in a few different ways, not only converting and helping convert your clients, like you mentioned, was a big pain point for you, but also creating efficiencies. A ton of facilities purchase the Fit3D literally for the efficiencies that it creates alone. Like, I just really don't feel like doing this anymore, and I need help.
Yes.
And so, not only will you help with that conversion and help make you money, but again, the efficiencies are really key. So you'll be able to just literally have them scan, and all that information you had previously been keeping, in your filing cabinet will be right here for you to just sign in and look at.
Wow. Okay.
Cool.
Great.
So moving forward, especially in challenges and in your personal training, our most important component of our software is our comparison report. So you're going to be able to compare every single metric on the system with the exception of balance. So for instance, you'll compare the body. So right here, if you can spin these guys around, and what this does is we talked about retention a little bit, and it's going to help you retain those clients. So you'll be able to show and validate your program. It shows that, wow, your program really works. Whatever they're doing here really works. And this is why they should continue to do so. So right here, it's like, a conversation you have with a client that you want to retain is like, hey, when you walked in my gym, this is the way you looked. And now this is how far you've come. And, at that point, they're sort of at a fork in the road. Either they've met their expectations and they're really good to go and they want to go to the beach and they're done, or, they're almost there. And so what you can say is, hey, either way, I know you're very happy with the success, but hey, we don't want to, revert back to this person. So that's the job of your salespeople to say, hey, like, let's just put you on a shorter schedule just so that we can maintain your body so that you don't revert back to this person. Okay. Or, hey, we got to keep going. Okay. I know we're not there yet, but we got to keep going. And that's where you're going to see those clients that are really, that you're going to retain. Okay. Moving forward, you can go over and compare the body fat percentage as well. So all those metrics you mentioned that are important to you, body fat percentage, the measurements, all of those things are comparable. And like I said, it really validates your program and it really protects your program and shows that it is working. So like Jane here, she started out at 30% body fat, and through the program she went through, now she's at 26, which is awesome. Wow. It'll show the difference in pounds, the difference in fat mass and lean mass. Moving forward here, you'll also see the difference in measurements. So you'll see quite frankly, when most people walk in the gym, they're like, I don't really care what my body fat percentage looks like, but you know what? I want my waist to be smaller. Yes. And that's my focus. Or, I want this to be this way. So we can definitely show them what is happening with, how it's aligned with their goals and really just what's happening with their body, 37 to 33%. Do you guys usually, is it just cut and dry at your facility? Like, hey, you're in the class, you're out of the class, or do you guys kind of want to educate the people at your facilities so that they can, go through a life change, or is it something that you're just kind of like transactional with?
Yeah, I want to educate them and go through a life change with them. I myself used to be 150 pounds overweight, and I had to make a complete lifestyle change. And that's why I started my gym. And I want to provide people with a place and a space where it's safe, where they can come as they are and they can make improvements, and we can give them the tools to be able to sustain those improvements.
Perfect. So the reason I asked is just because this is a great tool for education. You can take them through. We have a ton of other features, and I know you only have a short amount of time, and I just wanted to go through what I thought is most important to you. But we have a ton of other features that will help you educate your clients. We have our posture feature. We have a really cool body shape rating, where it just kind of gives you your overall health metrics, and all of those things are going to be able to have, like, well, you'll have talking points with your clients on exactly what's going on with the body, and really guide them through that lifestyle change, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
Last thing I'll show you is our printable feature.
Okay.
So our printable feature is really cool. I like it because it's all of the metrics in one place, and this is a great way to speak with potential clients when you're kind of in that initial assessment conversation. This is something that you can print out for them and send them home with if they haven't had a chance, if you didn't get a chance to convert them. And so you absolutely don't have to print this out. It's not necessary because, as I said, it is cloud-based software, but it is a really cool thing to be able to have. This is a comparison report, but you can actually, most people don't want their image printed out, so you can hide that image or show an image, and then you can change that to a single report and hide that image as well. And as I mentioned, it's a really cool way to just sit down with someone and go over everything in one place. And then kind of like your salespeople can kind of talk to them and show them, exactly what's happening with that initial scan. And then usually what people want to do is they want to scan again after they lost weight and compare those things. What's really cool about it, and I'll circle back to the comparison, is that once something really great happens to someone, I'm sure you are aware of this, they start to tell people, right? Yeah. They start to tell people like, oh my God, my gym is awesome. I've lost 45 pounds. This is why. And they become an instant referral for you. So once they become that instant referral for you because they're so happy with their results, because they can see this, they're going to show people their scans, they're going to do all those things, that's when you'll start to convert more clients as well. Okay. Just by implementing the Fit3D, if that makes sense.
Yes, definitely.
Cool.
Definitely.
So before we get into pricing, did you have any additional questions for me?
Yeah, I heard about, I think, a similar system. It starts with like an S or something. I don't know the name of the brand, but how does it compare to your system here?
So our competitors do a really great job of being very portable, and like if you were like a traveling kind of trainer or someone that wanted to be in and out with a system, I would never bad talk a competitor, but I will say we differ in a few different ways. The most important way that I can show you is our handles, and it doesn't seem like much, and I'll circle back to our website here, but it doesn't seem like much, but it really extremely goes into how accurate we can be. And with these handles, with these handles on the Fit3D here that I'm showing you here, when you hop on a platform and it's spinning 360, if you didn't have handles, your body would sway. Your movements would be different, but having those handles, really, we're seeing it's very, very accurate when it comes down to body fat percentage, when it comes down to those measurements. So that is, a big way we differ. Other ways we differ are just the way that we calculate our information. It seems very similar, but it's a totally different system and a totally different way that we gather that information.
So what is the technology that they use? Is it more accurate than you guys, or?
I can't speak to their accuracy, but in my experience with our accuracy, we actually picked to DEXA. Are you familiar with DEXA?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a partnership with DEXAFit, and what it is we take we have a database where we put our bodies into the database. They put the DEXA scan bodies into the database, and then we create an algorithm for there that gets us as close to DEXA as possible without being invasive. And so what we wanted was, DEXA is the gold standard of body composition. Yes. We wanted to get as close to their results without being invasive. So women that are pregnant, nursing, menstruating, children, anyone with a pacemaker can scan on the scanner. And so to give you an example, our entire sales team went in. They took a DEXA scan. Within 20 minutes, took a Fit3D scan, and all of their results were within 1.25% of their DEXA scan results, and some people were even spot on. Oh. So if that gives you any indication as to how we calculate, as well as how accurate we are, I believe we are the only body scanner that has an official partnership with DEXA, if that helps.
Yeah. And then I've read that you have to be basically fasted to use one of these systems. Is that the same with Fit3D?
No, you don't have to fast with Fit3D. So with Fit3D, the only variable, like we talked about, is clothing. So like I said, if it's something baggy, the scanner is going to read it as your body, but otherwise that, food is not a variable.
So I don't have to, not eat or drink before my scan. It's okay to do that. Or like I don't have to take the scan at a certain time of day.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. So the only question I have for you is, what is your timeline? If the price were right, how soon would you be looking forward to implementing Fit3D?
I think within the next, 30 days, we have a challenge coming up in about 2 months. So essentially this tool I would want to implement it maybe a couple weeks beforehand so we can get kind of used to it. But yeah, within the next 30 days, give or take. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say implementing, before the challenge is the best route to go, just because you want to get the scanner set up. You want to have some like test scans. You want to roll it out and just you and your staff be well trained so that you can just pop it right into the challenge. But so the way that our pricing works is based on inventory. So if we're able to put a name to a scanner, it saves us money on, projecting our costs for, our warehouses. So if you're able to purchase within 30 days, our list price is $11,000. We would get it down to $8,500. So that's a huge discount. In addition to that, if you can bring it a little closer and purchase within this month, so the end of this month will be the 29th, I believe. If you're able to purchase before the 29th, we would pull it down a little bit more to $79.99. Does that sound reasonable?
Oh, very nice. Yeah, that sounds, I thought it was actually going to be more expensive with all the features. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, in that case, no kidding. So is this something do you usually purchase outright for equipment, or is it something you'd be looking to finance?
I usually purchase outright. Like I said, I own my facility. However, I do like to consult my manager who oversees the facility for me on any like major business changes that I'm looking to implement, because essentially she's the one training the staff on it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. And then the last couple questions I have are, do you see any of these, any of the features or just the Fit3D in general helping you alleviate the issue that you currently have? And do you think it will work well in your gym?
Yeah, because I think none of the gyms in our area have this type of technology. I've seen like a similar kind of scanner, but it looked really kind of flimsy to me.
Yeah.
And I think this is a nice, like you said, to show people when they come in the door. I was wondering, do any of the facilities charge for scans?
Great question. So we can chat through ROI really quickly. Yeah, it depends on the facility. So there are a ton of different ways to make money from the scanner, as I mentioned before. So just to give you an example, and when you purchase, we can chat through this more, and you can kind of book a call and we can go over some potential ways to make money off the scanner. But so we're seeing, like, for instance, one facility that off the top of my head does scan days. So what they'll do is they'll have get the word out about the scanner, put out information, do some marketing, and then they'll promote a scanning day. So you'll come to their facility, they'll charge you, for example, $10 a scan, and then you'll take a scan. What we would suggest is, if you convert them and they sign up, putting that $10 towards their membership cost, and that's a great way to make money from the scanner. For example, that facility actually had over 700 people come in and literally paid for their scanner in one day. Not saying the foot traffic will be the same, but if that gives you any indication of how, you can make money. Others are implementing the Fit3D into their tiered packaging. So for example, tier 1 comes with certain amenities, tier 2 comes with certain amenities.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
And then tier 3 comes with a Fit3D scan. So most people, and the only difference between those tiers is that it comes with a Fit3D scan. And that would be like a monthly scan. You can also attract outside membership, where you can do monthly scan packages for people that are not a part of your gym, where they just come in, take a scan, you charge them $50 to $60 to $75 for the scan, and then with that you can tell them, hey, it comes with, we can sit down and talk about it, or they just take their scan and they go, depending on the facility and how much staff you guys have and how much time you guys have. But those are just a few examples of ROI.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Cool. And then the last question I have is, is when would be a good time to follow up with you on everything when you're closer to making a decision?
Yeah, we have a staff meeting next Tuesday. So anytime after that would be great, because then I'll be able to present this to my facility manager and just see her thoughts.
Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a pricing proposal. It's going to outline the pricing I just gave you, and it's going to have some really cool information about the scanner, about the company, how much space it takes up, all of that information, and probably answer some additional questions you might have. And then I'll also send you these demo logins. So I'll send you a quick email. You'll be able to log in here just like I did and kind of play around with the system and go through it. If you want to pull this up on that during that meeting, or with your business partners, you totally can, and kind of take them through as well. And then the last thing I'll send you is, in that same email, our demo video. Same kind of stuff I'm going through. If you want to pull that up as well, you can. Cool. So I will follow up with you in about a week, and then if there's nothing else, have a great rest of the week.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.